So, with episode 3 of The Penguin, we learn that Oz is a capo, but he isn't a made man. You might be wondering, what's a capo, what's a made man, and how does this tie into the show? Well, I think you might have an idea. If you're new around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are very quickly approaching 100,000 subscribers, and my goal is to hit that by the time that episode 4 of The Penguin releases. But without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Episode 3 further cemented Oswald's rank within the Falcone family as a capo regime. But we also learned that he isn't a made man. What does this mean? A made man. Well, to become a made man, you have to take the oath of Omerta. But to do that, you have to make your bones, meaning kill for the family. Now, we've seen Oswald kill, but killing for the family is different. This would be a sanctioned hit that would come down from the top, aka the boss. Once that is done, and if the books are open, which they rarely are, that is when new members would get made. So with that, Oswald isn't a made man. Now, he might have made his bones, but if the books weren't open, he wouldn't have gotten through. However, this isn't the case here. Since Oz is a capo regime, that means he would have had his own crew, and most likely his own operation, which he does with Drops and now Bliss. With that, to become a capo, you already have to be a made man. In real life, this exception has never been broken, but for the show it has. A capo regime is someone that is responsible for all their crew's rackets, kick-ups, scores, etc. Capos are also highly respected within the family, typically. But with this show, we know that isn't the case, and I think it's just mainly for Oswald. Capo regimes are also the top earners of the family, and they typically work closely with the administration within the family. I don't want to go into too many tangents in this video, but the administration would be comprised of the boss, underboss, consigliere, and the capo regimes. We see this in episode 1 when Oz gets called in by the administration. This reminded me a ton of Donnie Brasco when Lefty Two Guns gets called in by the family for a sit-down.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead, and it's your best friend that does it.
If you want to know more about the administration and the overall hierarchy and the ranking structure within the Falcone family, that'll be my next video, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you do not miss when that video drops. Following this, I'm still unsure if Oz would have taken the oath, but to play devil's advocate for this video, I am. Mainly, just due to the show not being totally accurate, I'll have to make an educated wish. You might be asking, what is the Oath of Omerta? Well, the Oath of Omerta is the code of silence within the mob. There's a ceremony that takes place where you become a full-fledged member of the family, and you are reborn into that said family. Following this, Oz would have been called in by the family to take his oath, unbeknownst to him however. But I will let Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano, the former underboss of the Gambino crime family, tell you what it was like taking the Oath of Omerta.
In 1975, the books were open after 20 years to start making people again. The commission sat down, all the bosses, and determined to have this happen.
New York, 1976.
Tato told me, Sammy, we got an appointment. I want you to wear a suit, white shirt, tie. You and my son are gonna come with me to this appointment. We got in the car. I knew the house belonged to this guy who was a made guy. I had an idea of what was happening. The guy who came up and grabbed me, hey, Sammy, how you doing? He said, I'm gonna take you downstairs, he says. Paul Castellano will be standing. You know who he is, right? There's a chair next to him. You're gonna sit down. Don't be nervous. This may be the best day of your life. I went down the stairs. As I got down to the bottom, you could see the smoke coming out. It was a smoke-filled room. I walked over. I sat down. Paul Castellano says, don't be nervous. I want you to relax. He said, do you know what this is? This is a secret society and a brotherhood. Just stand next to me. He told everybody to stand up. Everybody stood up. He said some words in Italian. Everybody locked hands in a huge circle. I went to grab his hand and the next guy's hand next to me. He said, no, not you. Just sit down. He said, in honor of our brotherhood, I close the circle. He turned around to me and said, get back up. He said, would you want to join this secret society, this brotherhood? It would be my honor to belong to this. And then he said, in our family, our code is this comes first in your life. It's above God and country, your personal family. It's above your own personal life. You protect this and keep it secret for your entire life. Respect and honor was at the highest level. He asked me if I understood. I said, yes, I do. Then he asked me, he said, if you were asked to kill for the family, would you kill? On our orders, without question, without remorse, yes. What finger would you pull the trigger? I pointed to my index finger. He took out a saint from his pocket. He says, I'm gonna burn this saint in your hand. There's an ashtray. When I tell you, you crush it and put the ashes in the ashtray. Tato came over, and he was the one who was gonna prick my finger to make it bleed and to rub my blood on that saint. He lit it on fire and put it in my hand. He said, juggle it back and forth so that you don't burn your hands. I did that. One of the things he said, if you betray this oath in any way, shape, and form, may your soul burn in hell like this saint is burning in your hands. Crush it. He moved the ashtray. I crushed it in my hands, and the ashes went into the ashtray. Tato said, kiss the boss on both cheeks. I did. He locked in that circle again, but this time he made me lock in, and he turned to me and says, as of this moment, you are now a friend of ours, a made member in our family. You're born as of today. We unlocked the circle, lighting up cigars and drinks and whatever. We celebrated for a while.
But if you want to watch Sammy's full video, go ahead and look at the top right of your screen now and go ahead and watch the video. Just make sure you tell him I sent you. Now, let's get back to the video. With this, Oz technically isn't the capo. I'm only saying this because Sofia calls him out on not being a main man. I have a big feeling this will become a point of interest throughout the rest of the show, along with Oz setting up his family. Another thing to add is that Sofia isn't technically a member of the family either. Women aren't allowed in life, and that is why she's essentially being shut out by her family. Yes, it's cruel, and yes, it proves her and Oz's case even more, but this is truly what it's like. With the show, however, they are going to take creative liberty to allow her to be a member of the family by overthrowing the current head of the family as she plans to do, which makes sense and works within the story. Luca Falcone is now the current head of the family. He was the only other capo that we know of besides Oz, but he definitely made his bones, and he's also a Falcone. I believe that there will be a third capo, but that's a video for a different day. What did you think of episode 3 of The Penguin? Let me know in the comments down below. It hit home for me on so many levels as an Italian-American. I grew up watching Sopranos, Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale, Donnie Brasco, you name it. So this really hits home for me and feels so personal on so many levels once again. With that, Joe from Jar Jar Jargon and I will be going live for Cantina Jargon soon. We are currently talking with a guest about coming on the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Lastly, I will see you all in the next one. This has been Cantina Talk, signing off.